given set of gun parts.
Part of the problem with trying to figure out what exactly happens to these gun kits that are sold online.
Turn right onto North D Street, then turn left onto Gordon Avenue. This route avoids a slowdown on I-75 South approaching Cincinnati. You are on the best route. You should reach your destination by 9:16 a.m.
What Gunbusters is, they don't include the serial number because that one
Turn left onto Gordon Avenue.
component of the gun that they actually did destroy is the one component that has the serial number. So the remaining parts, most of the time, do not have any kind of a tracing them. And one of the concerns from gun violence groups
In a quarter mile, turn right onto North B Street.
is that there are people out there who are capable of making their own receivers and frames, which are not serialized. These are commonly referred to as ghost guns because they're useful. And you
Take the next left onto Rita Avenue.
have a working gun with no way of knowing where any of the components come from.
Okay, so all of this is pretty shocking. I mean,
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto North B Street.
I assume that people who wanted a gun eliminated because they felt like it posed a specific threat would be pretty surprised that that gun was just removed. It feels like a bait and switch.
Take the next right onto North B Street.
And also potentially a total boon for this company.
Well, it certainly has been a boon for guns and others like it. Gunbusters says they've taken in more than 200,000 firearms over the
Continue for 8 miles.
past decade, from about 950 police agencies across the country, the biggest client being Michigan State Police. So when you figure the amount of money they've been making selling these parts kits, they've made millions of dollars, so it's certainly been lucrative for these businesses. When you take into account the total number of guns in America, it may not seem like a big number we're talking about. But, if you consider the havoc that one firearm is capable of wreaking, or if someone wants to make sure a gun is taken out of circulation, they may now be surprised by this to find out that they feel like they've been led astray and not knowing what was actually happening to these guns. But the reality is it's a lot more complicated. And if you take a closer look at how this came to be, in many ways it was totally predictable.
We'll be right back.
You don't need special gadgets to be a hero. With unlimited 1.5% cashback on every purchase everywhere, the Capital One Quicksilver Card makes you the hero of every purchase. Whether it's headphones, a lounge chair, or even a well-deserved massage, whatever the Quicksilver purchase, you're the hero. No fighting bad guys, getting in epic car chases, or parachuting out of buildings required. Simple, isn't it? The Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See Capital One for details.
It's that time of year when many of us think about how we can give back to our community. This is Nick Kristoff. I'm an opinion columnist for the New York Times, and I'm proud that for more than 50 years, the Times has conducted an annual appeal to raise money for charitable organizations. The idea is to work with readers to help create opportunity and overcome hardship through highly effective profits. Times journalism is fundamentally about vetting the truth, and in this case about vetting organizations and selecting some of the best so that together we can have an impact. This wouldn't be possible without the generosity of our audience. So I hope you'll consider donating to the New York Times Communities Fund this holiday season. The Times covers all administrative costs, so every penny you give goes directly to those in need. To learn more, go to nytimes.com/NYTFund. Thank you.
Mike, before the break you explained to us that Gunbusters, a private company, is taking unwanted guns across the country and is generally understood to be destroying them, but is actually only destroying part of that gun and selling the rest for profit. But you also said that, while surprising, it's also totally predictable. Explain that.
When you look at the actual agreements that Gunbusters entered into with law enforcement agencies, they make pretty clear in the text of these contracts that Gunbusters intends to do exactly what it does. Give an example, the sheriff office in Denton County, Texas has an agreement in which it says that no money will be exchanged or reimbursed as a result of the destruction of the firearm. The sheriff's office doesn't have to pay anybody. But then farther down, it also says that gunbusters will sell salvage parts and scrap metal. Now, scrap metal is understandable because when you put the gun through the pulverizer, what comes out the other end are just shredded pieces of metal, and they do make a little bit of money by selling that. But salvage parts is something completely different, and that refers to the gun kits. That is really where most of the money comes from. So this is not a huge mystery to the police departments that are entering into these agreements with gunbusters.
So the city officials and police departments contracting with gunbusters do know that the guns aren't actually being destroyed. I mean, are they reading the contracts and fully aware that this is the deal?
Well, so that's a good question. My review of a lot of city council, town council, local board authorizations of these contracts, what you often see is what you might expect, is that they're sometimes a whole slate of contracts all at once. It's often done on a very quick up and down vote. There's no reading of the contract. There's no questions asked. So the police and the sheriff's offices, they know what's in the contracts. But they also know that if they were to pay for this, it would require going to the local elected officials and asking for money. I mean, asking for a line item in their budget. And that's not something that the police department want to do or have to get involved in. And the elected officials often have just no idea what's in these contracts. All they know is that they've entered into some sort of agreement to destroy the guns. Because that's how it's decided the guns are going to be destroyed. And to a layperson, that's not a very complicated thought. But the details are where the devil is, and most of the elected officials that I came across have no idea what's happening.
Okay, then gunbusters isn't lying to anybody. They technically, in the contract, are saying exactly what they're offering, and police departments and other groups contracting with them are maybe just willfully ignoring the fine print for the reasons you just described. But on the other hand, the entire point of these programs is destroying guns. How does this meet that goal in any way?
This is where the law and regulations around firearms becomes important. Because if you remember, I mentioned the Gun Control Act, which was a law passed in 1968, where they defined firearms in a particular way. When that law was passed and the regulations were drafted to enact it, it was not the intention at the time to create this sort of loophole that's now being exploited. The intention in delineating what a receiver or a frame was to actually make the regulations a little bit tighter. It's not meant to create that loophole at all.
Mike, it sounds like in this sort of twisted way, this law that was supposed to be restrictive is now actually perversely making it harder to get rid of guns.
Yes, I mean, I think that the intent of the regulations that were created after the 1968 Act never foresaw a situation where it would somehow allow for guns that were intended to be destroyed to instead be somehow recycled in some fashion back out into the civilian market. And yet, in this one way, it has had the opposite effect.
But it seems like the obvious solution here would be to change the legal definition of a gun. I mean, right? Or at least for these governments to just pay the fee to destroy the entire gun, which you said earlier gunbusters would do.
Well, certainly if the police agencies and the towns that support them would be willing to pay to have gunbusters destroy the complete firearm, that would be the simplest solution. But Scott Reed, when I visited gunbusters, told me that some 98% of their clients opt not to do that. The other option would be to try to somehow change the regulations around what defines a receiver or a frame. And that seems very unlikely. I mean, first of all, you would have to either change the law or the ATF interpretation of the law and the regulations, and neither of those things seem likely to happen in the current climate.
So, even though this is clearly a loophole that was not meant to cause the effect that it is having, now that it exists, it's hard to roll back, especially in the context of the super political nature of everything related to guns.
Yes, I mean, it was a given at one time that police departments that wanted to get rid of guns could easily do so. And now you've got situations where there are actually some states where mostly Republican legislatures are passing laws that actually prevent police departments from destroying guns in their inventory. And so instead, what they're forced to do is to auction them off and sell them. So this is where you see this great divide happening, where you've got mostly red states and communities that are making it more difficult for police to get rid of guns, and you've got mostly blue cities and states where the opposite is happening.
Mike, I'm curious how Scott Reed, the man who runs Gunbusters, how do you think he feels about all of this? I mean, he must know that some people are under the impression that he really is taking guns out of circulation, when we know he's not.
I talked to him about this a couple of times. You guys have like a philosophy around this, and he acknowledges that there are people that he deals with who do want the full gun to be destroyed, and from his point of view, if they're willing to pay to do that, then he will do that.
And I think at some point, both sides see things in us that, we can take as a positive, and both sides see things that can take as a negative. I don't know that we're actively convincing anyone, hey, you should destroy your guns.
At the end of the day, though, he's a businessman. He's in the business of making money and providing a service to law enforcement agencies.
I think we walk that tightrope of how are we, public service where we're helping departments. We are taking guns out, of the system. But then, parts are still, remain out there. So
You can say that even the method that they do follow of taking the gun apart and selling the pieces, it is succeeding in taking guns out of the community in which the police department had them. And so, if a police agency somewhere has a bunch of guns from a buyback and they want to get them out of the community and off the street, giving them the Gunbusters at least does that. But, of course, if they don't pay to have the thing completely destroyed, then the parts of those guns will find their way back out somewhere. It just may not be in that particular community.
Right. On the one hand, you could see Gunbusters as exploiting the vagaries in the law and the desire to get guns off the street to make money. But on the other hand, Gunbusters is being pretty straightforward in what they're doing. They see a market, and they're not being untruthful about the service they're providing. I mean, maybe people should just read the fine print. So, how do you think about this, Mike?
It really struck me going into this that as easy as it is to obtain a gun in America these days, it's surprisingly difficult to get rid of one. And the fact that we're engaged in this semantic debate about what is a firearm and what's not a firearm, it just goes to how polarized everything is on this whole subject. And so the real reason why it's so difficult to destroy a gun has little to do with the means in which you would physically do it. It has more to do with what it means to have a firearm and the ability to regulate them is really what it boils down to.
And even when there are genuine efforts to destroy guns, it doesn't happen. I mean, there are enough forces against it, there's enough of a market there that it fails.
That is one of the great ironies, is that at the end of the day, even the best intentions when it comes to how to destroy a gun are often thwarted. And the people who think they're doing some service to their community by taking guns off the street, they are led to believe, often by their elected leaders who aren't paying attention, that this in fact is what's happening, and it turns out that it's not.
Mike, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Following the Times investigation, Michigan State Police, which sends Gunbusters about 11,000 guns a year and is its largest client, has temporarily paused its contract with the company. We'll be right back.
In her #1 New York Times bestseller, Oath and Honor, former House Republican leader Liz Cheney provides a gripping first-hand account of the January 6, 2021 insurrection, from its origins to aftermath, and the threat she believes Donald Trump still poses to
In a quarter mile, turn left onto the US 27 South, Ohio 126 East ramp to Cincinnati.
the Constitution and the American people. Slate writes that Liz Cheney calls out Trump and his cronies with bracing candor, and the Washington Post says Oath and Honor reminds us of the stakes. Read Oath and Honor today. Available in hardcover, ebook, and audio wherever books are sold.
Turn left onto the US 27 South ramp, then merge onto Ohio 126 East.
Here's what else you need to know today. Hezbollah, the Iran-backed militant group, said on Monday that one of its commanders had been killed in a strike in southern Lebanon, near the country's border with Israel. Israel and Hezbollah have traded increasingly intense cross-border fire since Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza began 3 months ago. The latest attack, which follows an Israeli strike last week,
Continue for 12 miles.
that killed senior Hamas leaders in Lebanon, has added to fears that the war in Gaza could erupt into a wider regional conflict. And in an interview with The Times, the chief spokesman for the Israeli military said that Israel is expected to begin to shift away from a large-scale ground and air campaign in Gaza to a more targeted phase in its war against Hamas, involving fewer troops and airstrikes. The disclosure comes as U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken visits leaders in the Middle East this week, on a trip aimed at preventing the fighting from expanding. Today's episode was produced by Mary Wilson, Diana Wynn, Stella Tan, and Rochelle Bonjour. It was edited by Lexi Diao and Paige Cowan. Contains original music by Marian Lozano, Dan Powell, Rowan Nemisto, and Pat McCusker, and was engineered by Alyssa Moxley. Our theme music is by Jim Brunberg and Ben Lansberg of Wonderland. That's it for the Daily. I'm Natalie Kittrow. See you tomorrow.
Around New Year's, we get a little obsessed with changing ourselves and forget the things we're already doing right, like taking our supplements every morning or scheduling me time into our day. Therapy helps you recognize those victories and keep up the good work in the new year without changing everything. BetterHelp offers affordable online therapy, so you can try New Year, Same You with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/thedaily today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thedaily.
Have you ever told a friend
Oh, I'm fine.
when you really felt,
Just so overwhelmed.
or sent a text, "Can't sleep, are you awake?" when you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Here's your money briefing for Tuesday, January 9th. I'm J.R. Whalen for the Wall Street Journal. How's your commute to work? If it doesn't involve planes, trains, and hotels, then you've got nothing for reporter Chip Cutter.
I've got this down to a science now, where I know I can wake up around 4:15 a.m. and I'm getting on a 6 a.m. flight. I then try to time it so I board almost last, and then I'm getting into our Midtown Manhattan office. That is a weekly thing for me.
We'll talk to Chip Cutter about his super commute after the break.
Friendship is sharing deal because I want one of your McNuggets.
And I need some you go to mom.
There's a deal for everyone at McDonald's. Get one favorite like 2-piece chicken McNuggets, a quarter pounder, or a Big Mac, and get another for just $1. Price and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser than equal or lesser value.
There's a long commute, and then there's a super commute. Wall Street Journal workplace reporter Chip Cutter regularly commutes between the Midwest and New York City. And he joins me now from Columbus, Ohio. So Chip, you ever wake up and your first thought is, what city am I in?
Constant. I'm always either thinking I'm going to be oversleeping, missing a flight, or I'm confused about what hotel room I'm in, and that actually has become a pretty regular thing.
Now before we get into it, can you define super commuting for me? How long does that commute have to be?
So I'm not sure there's any formal definition of what a super commute is. In my case, it's more than 500 miles, and so I would consider that a super commute. And I'm also traveling every single week between Columbus and New York. I'm waking up at 4:15 a.m., and I'm getting on a 6 a.m. flight, and then I'm getting into our Midtown Manhattan office. That is a weekly thing for me, and I think we can classify that as a super commute, but there's not a necessarily formal definition out there for it.
Yeah, that's a lot. Take us through a typical round trip between Ohio and New York and all the travel twists and turns.
I've got this down to a science now, where I know I can wake up around 4:15 a.m., take a super quick shower, I grab a coffee, head out the door. I'll either drive myself to the airport or sometimes my sister will pick me up. The airport in Columbus is 10 minutes away from my apartment. I then try to time it so I board almost last. You sit down, door closes, it takes off, hopefully there's no delays. Then you arrive in LaGuardia. From there, I take a bus, and from there, it's a quick train ride into our office in Midtown Manhattan. If everything goes right, I've been able to do that in 3 hours. Door to door, leaving my apartment in Columbus to arriving at the Journal's newsroom.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-275 West.
In New York in 3 hours. And that's pretty good. It doesn't always happen.
This is a lot of planets lining up for you every time you do this, including the fact we've had fairly mild winters the last 2 years in the eastern half of the country. Do you feel like you've gotten lucky because of that and flights haven't been slowed down?
I've been extremely lucky, absolutely. Haven't had a ton of experiences where you're just getting your flight canceled and you're having to rebook. It's certainly happened a couple of times. I try to be really careful. If it looks like it's going to be a rainy day, I might go the night before, I might go later that evening. I try to avoid it. So there's certainly been lots of times, particularly this summer, where I sat on the runway in LaGuardia heading home for hours at a time. But getting to New York, taking the first flight of the day, I've had a lot of luck with that.
What made you decide to do this?
This all was driven by the pandemic. Like a lot of people, I moved back to the Midwest right when COVID hit. I was trying to be closer to my family. Then when it came time for all of us to return to the office, the Journal, that was in 2022, I wanted to see if there'd be a way where I could keep my foot in both worlds. I started looking at apartments in New York. There weren't a lot that I liked that were in my price range. And so I said to myself, is there a way for me to do this? Using miles, using sort of all kinds of different travel tricks to commute to New York for a few days, be there to make the in-office requirements, but then still have this much cheaper apartment in Columbus. And so that was the grand experiment that I set out to do. And of course it's been a lot harder than I might have expected.
How do you make this work financially?
That was the big challenge. And I tried doing some back of the envelope math to keep this below the price of a nice studio apartment in New York. So trying to make my current lease in Ohio plus the travel costs all add up to be sort of at or below $3,200 a month. And the reason I thought I might be able to do this is because for years I have been one of these travel obsessives who is constantly reading frequent flyer blogs, reading about sort of how to play the credit card games to maximize points, racked up a bunch of miles that I thought I could then burn and use on this. And I thought I could just fly into New York in the morning on points, stay at a nice points hotel in Lower Manhattan. There's a place called Beekman, it's a Hyatt that I love. And then I thought I'd fly home. But it, of course, turned out to be way more complicated. Things would come up. I'd have to sort of stay late for a story, or I'd need to stay an extra day for a meeting or a friend's birthday or whatever it might be. And so I was constantly changing my plans and realizing I was oftentimes in New York 4 or 5 days anyway. And so this all just got a lot more complex than I initially expected.
How do you deal with cancellation problems and fees that go along with it if you have to delay or cancel a flight?
Yeah, I felt like I spent...
In 2 miles, use the left lane to take exit 28 for I-74, US 52 East towards Cincinnati.
So much time on the phone with airlines over the past year trying to just get a new flight. Oftentimes I book flights on miles that can be canceled last minute for not a problem, so just do that. Then you're in the challenge of having to rebook something. There may not be something at a lower mile price. It just ends up being tricky. And so the time it took to do all this, really can't be overstated. There was a lot of calls to airline customer service lines. There were a lot of chats with various representatives. And it was just me trying to figure out, okay, I can't go today. How do you then get back and get us there?
So they know you. You call, they go, shit, how's it going?
Maybe not quite on that level, but I definitely sort of know the drill at this point. I know all the cancellation policies, know all the rules, and I'm sort of able to navigate that as best I can.
If somebody listening is thinking, maybe I can do something like this, how would you suggest they start putting the pieces of a super commute together?
Step one is actually figuring out your schedule. Is this really reasonable? Could you do this? And be honest with yourself. Is your schedule that predictable that you'll be able to go back and forth consistently. The other thing is make sure you sort of understand the mileage game. That is an important part of this. There's a sort of value associated with your miles. So you want to make sure.
In half a mile, use the left lane to take exit 28 for I-74, US 52 East towards Cincinnati.
You're spending your miles in a smart way, that you're not wasting miles on trips where it might be better to pay with cash, for example. You need to realize that there's actually a physical toll with this. For me, all the 4:15 a.m. wake-ups really did cause a price with my sleep, and it does become a little bit exhausting. You feel like you're always on the move. You're going to go down this path, which can be
Use the left lane to take exit 28.
fun and adventurous, and it's nice to be able to sort of have your foot in both worlds. Just realize it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of planning.
Continue on I-74 for 10 miles.
And that leads me to the next question. Is this the new normal for you, or do you have some sort of a time frame in your mind when the stress of all this travel might be too much to bear?
Well, I never expected to be doing it this long, but I thought this might last for sort of a season while I got a new apartment in New York, but it's lasted more than a year, partly because I've still enjoyed being in Ohio. I've enjoyed being close to my family, so I'm not sure how much longer I can do this. Right now, the hotel prices are cheap in New York, and so after the holidays, it's made it a lot easier to stay in New York. So that, of course, makes me think we could maybe do this for a few months longer, but at the same time, there is a real toll here, and some of those that are closest to me are sort of saying, like, okay, enough already. Get an apartment, stop this, let's, return to normal life.
That's WSJ reporter Chip Cutter. And that's it for your money briefing. We'll be back tomorrow with WSJ's Vanessa Furmans to discuss ways to strategically plan your paid time off. This episode was produced by Ariana Osperu, with supervising producer Melanie Roy. I'm J.R. Whalen for the Wall Street Journal. Thanks for listening.
So, how do we get AI right?
Well, we need the right volume of data, the software to train it, and massive compute power, or...
Another one bites the dust. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm hanging on the edge of your seat.
But with HPE GreenLake, we get access to supercomputing to power AI at the scale we need, helping generate better insights. Nice teamwork, guys.
Search HPE GreenLake.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
The age of AI is upon us.
Welcome to your AI Name This show. We're your human hosts. I'm Tasia Custodi.
And I'm Tristan Shufra.
And on AI Name This show, we ponder things like, will AI save the world or kill us all? Can we resurrect the dead with generative AI? It's all very chill vibes around here, we promise.
Join us as we unravel the complexities of artificial intelligence.
Listen to AI Name This show with new episodes every Friday, wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
Did you get an email in your junk box this week?
Well, only weird ones, but why?
Yeah,
Anything in particular?
I got one of Ben a gag in his mouth. He looked really terrified asking for a ransom, but I thought it was spam.
Denise.
Phishing or something?
Yeah, block.
He looked really scared.
It's probably AI.
Yeah, I thought so. Hello and welcome to Help I Sexted My Boss, the podcast where we help you navigate the challenges of modern life, answering your 21st century questions and finding solutions to those everyday dilemmas. Like how do you recover from all the common clinking you witnessed at New Year's? Are you writing the scripts now?
No, not.
And do I need to carry a knife and fork around just in case I want to eat a pear? And, of course, what should you do if you've accidentally sexted your boss? We should also add to that, when do you stop saying Happy New Year? But we're not usual like the answer, are we? William Hanson, the UK's leading etiquette expert with 18.5 million followers on Instagram.
Thank you. No, we're not Jordan North, radio presenter and 1.8 million follower Instagram account. I'm more fine as brie, you're more Dairy Lee.
Very good.
And that's from Peter. Thank you, Peter.
I also like brie.
You like brie?
Oh, I've ate my body weight in cheese this year.
Really?
Oh, God.
What do you have your brie with, or do you just have it on its own?
On a cracker. I like a wheat cracker.
Jacob's wheat cracker.
Nice.
High fibre, but they're the best crackers.
Do you do brie and apple?
No, I've got to say that
That's quite nice. Little slither of apple. Brie.
I like the smoked cheese as well. I had lots of that over Christmas. I think it's Norwegian or something like that. I had meatballs.
Yes, you like that.
Borsin.
Balsam.
Borsin.
I prefer Philadelphia and Denny's.
Do you? Is it
Yes.
Why are you eating it in tents? What, when you camped it? Oh, I'm on good film. I'm on good film.
Yes. Now, are you doing? It's a new bottle of Dubonnet, but are you doing damp January? What
I'm
are you
doing half dry jam like I usually do. Just a little reset for 2 weeks.
So do you want one or not?
No, you crack on, sweetheart. I'm just gonna have 2 weeks reset. I'm going on football this weekend. It's gonna be hard to go watch.
Who are you playing?
We're playing Spurs. It's gonna be hard to go and watch Burnley out.
Fresh.
Yeah. Happy New Year. It's gonna be hard to watch Burnley without having a drink. Not that you can't, but
You'll have a drink. I bet.
When I put my mind to it, just a little reset. The first drink I'm going to have is when we go to Nancy Pelosi's
Alex
Phillips's hotel.
Okay. In a few weeks' time.
In a few weeks' time.
Very excited.
Which I'm looking forward to.
Well, I'll just toast on my own, shall I?
It's bad luck to toast.
No, it's not bad luck to toast.
It is.
Really? Well, for a start, you've drunk before.
I'm not going to toast.
It's not bad luck to, it was only bad luck to toast with water in the days when water was full of bacteria.
Don't talk to me about superstitions. New Year's Eve.
Yes.
I forgot to walk in the house and walk back out again.
What?
On New Year's Eve, you meant to walk out of the house. The person with the darkest hair walks out the back door or something.
The person with the darkest hair?
Yeah.
I have never heard
It's to bring good luck in, and then on New Year's Day...
Were you told this as a child because people didn't want you in the room?
No, there'll be lots of people listening now going like that, and then on New Year's Day, you're not allowed to do any laundry, you can't put a washer.
Well, I've heard that one before.
Because if you wash your clothes on New Year's Day, you wash them out your family. And I got into a big argument on New Year's Day about it. I was asked to respect my culture, to which I was told it's Karen culture.
Well, I agree with that. Well, here's the solo toast to 2024.
To 2024.
Let's hope it's a big one. Lovely.
As always, if you need our help with something, then we would love it if you got in touch. You can send your tales of trepidation to help@sexandmyboss.com, or you can tweet us or send us a message on Instagram @sexandmyboss, or you can write to William, who in the fullness of time promises a handwritten reply on one of his luxury greeting cards with executive cell seal envelopes. The address for that is on the website sexandmyboss.com.
The stationers of people on the street are up in arms and self-seal envelopes, by the way.
Right.
I had a Christmas card from Ruth and Science, who's my personal stationery supplier.
You have a personal stationery supplier?
Yes, I do. And
David Cameron's wife used to be the head of...
She was the creative director a while ago, yeah. And yes, saying that she was horrified that we're advocating.
In 2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take the I-75 South, US 27 South exit toward US 127 South, Lexington.
Self-seal envelopes, but Ruth, I'll say this to you: if you had to lick what I've got to lick, you'd want to self-seal envelope. I mean, I write a lot of letters, I can't lick them all.
What is a self-seal envelope?
Well, it's, you know, where you've got it's already got a bit of glue, you peel off the strip.
Is that a bit common?
I mean, look, etiquette reflects the society that we're living in, and things evolve. And back in the day, you could sort of moisten it yourself. Although actually, in the titles of Keeping Appearances, Hyacinth has that little sticky pad of a stamp, so that you could use the same thing for letters as well.
Oh, okay.
To moisten it, it's just a sponge, basically.
Oh, right.
You can use your tongue, but not on a self-seal envelope.
Oh, okay. Anyway, loads to catch up on. Loads of preamble today.
Yes.
So we'll give you a little warning. How was your Christmas? How was your New Year?
Christmas was lovely.
Yep.
My favourite present was a meat defrosting plate.
What's a meat defroster? Just a
so
metal plate?
It's metal, but it's supposedly designed and it defrosts meat at double the speed, but safely.
I need one of them.
Yes.
I took some. Is it good with fish? I took some salmon out the other day.
Well, I wouldn't know.
On New Year's. Oh, you don't like fish?
No.
It still weren't defrosted.
Well, so I did beef mince yesterday. So normally a whole 500-gram block of beef mince might take on the side most of the day, in the fridge overnight.
Mm-hmm.
You stick it on this plate, this sort of black metal plate with some ridges. Literally in about 3.5 hours, it was ready to go.
Is it a heated plate?
No.
No, you plug
I don't know how it works. No, it is literally standalone.
Who got you that?
My mum.
she's a good one.
Yeah.
He's always whinging about his meat, darling.
Here we go.
He's saying his meat is never defrosted. So I said, Brian, we must get a defrosting meat plate.
Look, I will. In fact, actually, this
Show me
is.
it.
I mean, it was a very odd video for me to send to my mother of me touching my meat, but then.
In a quarter mile, use the right 2 lanes to take the I-75 South, US 27 South exit toward US 127 South, Lexington.
Yeah, that was the.
Oh, wow.
That was underfrosted. Or, sorry, that was frozen, as we often call it. And then here, look, you see, if you're
Use the right 2 lanes to take the I-75 South exit.
later, completely fine.
Wow.
And that's all it is, it's just that little plate.
How do you get on with them induction hobs? I'm pissing eight.
Yeah, I don't love an induction hob.
I'm gonna, if I get a new kitchen in a couple of years, I'm gonna save up.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a hob and just go back to gas.
Yeah, Mikey is desperate for gas.
They do me head in.
Especially last night.
And you put like a bit of the tea towel goes on it. It's like beeping and all goes
when you
off.
clean it as well, when I spritz it afterwards with the degreasing spray, and they go beep, 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 because it's sort of slightly wet. Because I know it's slightly wet. They won't shut up. And then last night it was slow, because we were using all 4 rings last night.
And isn't it...
And they don't... And it does that pulse.
Even, name drop, even when I did that thing with Mary Berry, she struggled with it as well.
Does she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, in a couple of weeks, if Induction decide to sponsor an episode, we'll be all over it.
We'd love an induction hob.
But for now, they just do
I see them, they're much better from a safety point of view.
Yeah.
I do get that.
And I think it might be better for energy as well.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would imagine in 10 years' time, when the technology's developed, they'll actually be really great.
Yeah.
But at the moment, they're a bit frustrating.
Half my pans don't work either.
Oh.
Still got like all the cheap pans from uni that don't work.
No, you need to get rid of Well, go and invest in some new pans.
And,
get them at January sales. What was your favourite Christmas present?
I got a bottle of whiskey that I've always wanted.
Blue Label, I believe.
It was Johnny Walker Blue. Very, very
Didn't
lucky.
he used to do Radio 2 Sounds of the 70s? Has he branched out into whiskey?
Yes, he has, Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker.
Now, you know I love my whiskey. I've never even tried it before, because even in bars and stuff, I think some bars charge like 40, 50 quid for that shot of Johnny Walker Blue.
And what, that's about that much, is it?
So I got some for Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you tried it yet?
Yeah, I thought, I'm going to try it. And then I went back onto my normal whiskey.
Yeah.
Which I like my house whiskey. And someone said, can you tell the difference? I said, it's like...
In 2 miles, use the left lane to take exit 1B for I-71 North, US 50 East, or US 52 East.
Glenn's vodka. Remember Glenn's vodka on park when you were a kid? No. Never had the tiny little bottle of Glenn's vodka on a cab. I was listening to N-Dubs.
Oh, that was my childhood all over.
And a Samsung.
No, I was recreating the Bible with Beanie Babies. You
Of course
know
you
this.
were, but it's just like that now. It's like when you get a good whiskey, you can definitely tell
You can taste the difference.
That was my favourite. I had a lovely time at Christmas, thanks for asking. Yeah.
I did ask.
It was Lucas's christening.
Yes, your nephew, not my former lecturer flatmate.
Went really well. Yeah.
Good.
No fights.
You sure?
There was a ball pit fight where we all started chucking balls at each other.
But that's sort of playful, so yes.
Yeah.
Nice. And how old is Lucas now? 6 months?
6 months, and he's crawling.
Is he?
Gosh,
Yes. Well, he'll be at university next.
Graham and Wendy were there.
They came over.
Yeah, they came over.
So did they do where did they do Christmas?
Oh, you should see what Wendy got me. They stayed in a hotel in Birmingham.
Oh, okay, so they were over here.
Brothers, and they got and made me open it in this pub in Birmingham in front of everyone. They got me a fire pit.
A fire pit?
Massive fire pit. Yeah. So
did they not just deliver that to your house? That might have been easier.
Got delivered to the grandma's. So.
Wow.
And my dad got a drone.
Gosh.
My dad can
He's been married to a drone for most of his life.
In half a mile, use the left lane to take exit 1B for I-71 North, US 50 East, toward US 52 East.
I showed her that clip as well.
Sorry, Wendy.
I showed her that clip. You said, "How's Wendy still a cow?"
What did she say?
Yeah, it's not repeatable. Especially, and we repeat a lot of things in this podcast.
Use the left lane to take exit 1B, then use the left lane to continue on exits 1A, 1B.
But yeah, she got me drunk to barely park a car.
Mm-hmm.
Use the left lane to continue on exits 1A, 1B.
Can't park. But yeah, how was New Year's Eve?
Well, it was lovely, thank you. So
Keep left to continue on exit 1B.
Those that don't know, Jordan very sweetly invited Mike and me over for a New Year's bash, which was nice. And it was, I mean, latterly on this podcast last year, you were like, oh no, you've got to bring something, and I got a bit uppity that you had changed. Because originally you didn't say you need to bring a dish. Then you announced that you did. So then Mike and I spent quite some time working out what we were going to bring.
Oh, bless you.
And then about 2 days before, you said, oh no, we're doing it now. It's sausage surprise.
Because, again,
genuinely, we did sausage surprise.
Wendy got in my head.
In a quarter mile, use the second from the left lane to take the US 50 East exit toward I-471, US 52.
She went, no, you can't do PKTs, you know, it's too much hassle. We're all out on the side and you've not got enough oven space. And I was like, do you know what, she's actually got a point here. So I thought, I can't do my chili again, I'll do a sausage surprise.
Use the second from the left lane to take the US 50 East exit.
Yeah. And I was very surprised by your sausage.
Thank you. I knew that would annoy you. No one else would bother, and I knew that would.
Well, can I also? I spent a few days before Chelsea and James, who also came. I saw them for lunch, and
in a quarter mile, use the middle lane to continue on US 50.
How Chelsea and James got invited? I mean, how's this for etiquette? So you bumped into a mutual friend of Chelsea's called Hannah, I believe, at a party weeks ago. You then say to Hannah at this party,
use the middle lane to continue on US 50, then take the Martin Drive exit.
In, I think it was November or December, when she came up and said, oh, I believe, Chelsea's having a chat, you said to Hannah, oh, can you see what they're doing New Year's Eve and if they'd like to come round for tea? So Hannah then, so the invitation doesn't actually come from you.
I can't remember this.
I was showing the text. The invitation comes from Hannah.
No,
it wasn't even invited.
I spoke to J-Ro.
Right, well maybe they didn't come.
And no one calls him J-Ro these days, apart from the original Manchester lot.
Take the Martin Drive exit, then sharp left onto the ramp to Columbia Parkway.
I'm around, Stu. So there'll always be J-Ro to me.
Right, that's James Robinson.
James Robinson. And you can hear on Chris Miles' show.
Yes.
Man, this is a nice area.
Then take the US 50 West exit. Take the US 50 West exit, then keep right.
I got a meeting downtown.
Keep right.
It's the... Go this way, I think so. Yeah.
In 1,000 feet, turn left onto Eggleston Avenue.
Wow, this is confusing.
Turn left onto Eggleston Avenue, then your destination will be on the right. Your destination is on the right.
It's the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana Council of Governments meeting. Basically, update on all transportation projects in the region, how federal funding is being allocated to different agencies, Do I want to park closer?
Anyway, I texted him ages ago. Who's that coming? Oh, what party was it?
I don't know.
I'm at so many showbiz parties these days. I'm really not. I can't remember that. Did you know what you said as soon as you walked in again?
Oh God, no, don't.
So,
stop it.
Infamously, when he first came to my little holding flat that I had for a year in, where was that?
London.
In London, yeah. He walked in and you famously said, well, it's lovely on the inside.
I have no recollection of that.
Do you remember when you walked into the living room?
What, have you...
Head northeast toward Ohio River Scenic Byway, East Pete Rose Way. In a quarter mile, turn right onto Broadway.
New place?
Yeah.
Which living room?
When you came, the upstairs. No, also, I don't want anyone, I've decided as well.
I noticed you reposted me and then deleted.
Head northeast toward Ohio River Scenic Byway, East Pete Rose Way.
Right, I know. Okay. I know I'm really anal about it, but I don't
get more anal than George.
I don't want anyone posting inside me. It's fine, and then I just get really weird about it, and everyone was posting it, and then you put that up. It's lovely to see Jordan in one of his drawing rooms.
Smallest state drawing rooms.
And anyway, when you came into the smallest state drawing room, you said, does that couch have enough cushions?
No. Take the next right onto Ohio River Scenic Byway, East Pete Rose Way.
Because, Jordan, I have never seen so many water cushions on one piece of furniture.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Broadway.
It was perfect. Like what you would go to Soho House and go, they've got too much cushions on here.
Well, no, because you're able to see the seat of the sofa.
I'm sorry.
No, but it looks beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I love it, and also, especially because now I'm getting old, I love the sketch cushion behind the back.
Yeah.
But they weren't quite a lot.
The house is really not, and every time I DM now, I don't like posting from the outside.
Turn right onto Broadway, then turn left onto East 3rd Street.
I just thought today if you're looking rough again in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's the last time.
Okay, so no more house.
I want to sign them off. Is that control freak?
I want to sign them off. Sorry, the Jordan of 5 years ago could hear that.
Also, I've decided that it's the run up to Christmas that I don't like.
Take the next left onto East 3rd Street.
Itself, it's that 2 weeks before, week before. It's so stressful.
That's alright, you've got 51 weeks left.
I'm always so busy that week run up, but I love Christmas Day itself. I love Boxing Day, and a lot of people hate it. I bloody love Limbo Week.
Right.
I know it's always grey and it pisses down with rain every year without fail.
This year.
It was miserable, but it's because no one bothers me. Everybody's off, so I don't have to do any emails, any text, anything like that. And I can just sit in my own shit and watch telly all week. I love it. Not literally, but...
Did you watch anything nice?
Did you watch Saltburn?
We have now watched Saltburn.
Okay. What did spoilers?
We won't spoil anything for anyone.
Are you a vampire?
Am I a vampire? No, I'm definitely not a vampire. Please.
I'm surprised.
I don't think many people listening to this are vampires, because that's weird.
I'm surprised we've not had a letter about that.
Well, we haven't started yet, we might.
Can I just say, I thought it was fantastic. I sometimes...
In half a mile, keep right to continue on West 3rd Street.
Things don't live up to I thought it was brilliant. Both of them, Barry Keoghan and
Keegan, probably. And Jacob Elordi.
Oh yeah, I mean, you knew his name.
Can I also say, on a completely unrelated note, what a lovely bath you've got. What beautiful taps.
That was a fun game, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you reckon we're about to solve them? I've always thought about this. If there's any actors listening, or anyone,
Any actors?
yeah, that has done a nude scene, do you reckon before, mainly male actors or however they identify, do you reckon before they do a nude scene, do you reckon they get it on semi-lock?
Well, why did you ask this to Robbie, our intimacy coordinator who came?
In a quarter mile, turn left onto East 6th Street.
No, we should have asked.
Yeah, I don't think that's encouraged.
You know, like when you sometimes get in shower at school, you give it a little.
I'm sorry?
You just give it a little, like.
No,
little,
we had cubicles.
Little helicopter, just to get a bit of blood into it.
A little helicopter?
You know, sometimes I see. Right, I'm not joking. I see lads do it in the gym these days. Because
Where's your gym again?
Like they'll just give it a little. Look, just get blood going to it. I'm sure actors must do that. Must have.
Because I think that but Robbie did tell us. Remember, they wear like modesty pouches.
Yeah, but Barry didn't.
No, Barry did, but they're prosthetic.
And apparently the grave scene was improvised.
Grave scene. Oh right.
Yeah. But I've always wanted to know that.
Mikey didn't know what was coming in the bath scene, as it were.
I don't think it was a scene.
No, it wasn't. But he was at the point of at the point where that happens. That's probably the worst thing that's happened
Turn left onto East 6th Street.
so far.
I think that vampire scenes.
That's probably worse. Yes, that is definitely worse. But yeah, the Mikey's face was. I wish I'd picked up my phone in time to record him squealing.
No,
just going back to yours, by the way, it's probably right today. I have probably written the worst thank you letter I've ever written to you.
Take the next right onto East 7th Street.
To thank you for New Year's Eve. I'm very not in terms of what I've said, in terms of how I formatted it. It's a lovely picture of the late Queen Elizabeth and the late Duke of Edinburgh sitting next to each other on a.
In 800 feet, use the second from the right lane to continue on Gilbert Avenue.
Over in Windsor. And I only had one of them, so that's why we've got it. I didn't bother rewriting the stamps in the wrong place. I think it probably didn't turn up. I made it. I've written the name. I put Northy, not North. I don't know what happened. I've then written apology for that in the place where the stamp's meant to go, which is why the stamp's on the bottom right corner. It's an absolute disaster.
I wouldn't have noticed.
Use the second from the right lane to continue on Gilbert Avenue.
No, you really will.
And I know why this was. You had your first hangover on New Year's Day.
No, I didn't.
You were hammered.
Will you not?
You was when you.
In a quarter mile, use the right lane to take the I-71 north ramp to Columbus.
Who left?
Yes.
Everyone went. No, they did. Honestly, I do think they did. Yeah.
I got tired the next day.
You what? You started on champagne.
Yes.
And then what else did you have? Maybe a couple of gins.
Did
you have some wine with your stuff?
Use the right lane to take the I-71 north ramp.
Surprise?
I think I might have had some wine, and then I had a similar campaign. I never liked those, so.
Jamie Rowan.
In half a mile, continue on to I-71 north.
Chelsea.
They did? You made Chelsea do the veg.
Yeah, because you know what it's like. When you come to mine, everyone gets stuck in. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Chelsea did the veg. She did a very good job of it as well.
She did?
Yeah.
Yes. And you did your lovely brownies as well.
I did my lovely brownies. But I was going to go for last drink on this day, so I was doing Sunday. But those calories did me all the time.
Yeah. In other news, should we just talk about the fact that I have been used to promote Skepta's upcoming album?
Yes, what has gone on here?
I have absolutely no idea. So on New Year's Day, suddenly my phone went on light with people sending it to me. Skepta, yes, posted a grid post of a series of photos promoting an upcoming album called Knife and Fork. And me eating the pear was I think picture 3.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Bizarrely, picture 9 was the set of Matilda's musical, which I think is a bit weird, but I don't really get it.
That's fair play to you. Did you share it?
I'll pop it.
Have you been invited to the album launch party?
It's only like Christmas.
I've got a couple of mates that are huge Skepta fans. So if you could get some tickets for that, that'd be great.
Many friends that all big Skepta fans. We love his harmonies.
Fair play. Oh, we should take you to a Skepta concert.
Cypher, a Skepta recital.
You and Mikey at a Skepta gig would be brilliant. Oh, also,
yes.
I want to take you to a Skepta gig. You know, I'll put you to Benidorm.
No, I'll be taking the usual Skepta
Oh yeah, sorry. You know,
I'll have the idea.
You know, I've taken to Benidorm.
Yes.
I really want to take it to the darts. Have you watched it this year?
I haven't watched it any year.
Now, a lot of people think I'm jumping on the bandwagon. Back me up here. I've always loved the darts, especially the World Championship finals. I've watched it every year.
And where do they take place?
They take place at Ali Pali.
Oh,
It used to be at Circus Tavern. So I first watched it. I remember New Year's Day I was looking good, just got a telly in the ring. And I was watching Phil Taylor playing Kevin Payne. 2004 final. Phil Taylor, greatest living sports person on this planet. 16 world titles, he topped that. I think it's 16. And a lot of people say Tiger Woods and tennis players and whatever. 16 world titles. But it was really good this year because Luke Litter was only 16.
Yes. Now he's the one that he's caused media interest because he is only 16, but he's sort of looks 40.
But I mean, that's unfair. That's unfair. And a lot of people were saying he's actually not 16. And I have got proof, black and white proof that he's 16.
He's got a strong
He hasn't got his driving licence. He wouldn't be able to drive. So,
no, true.
I've got his birth certificate. No, I haven't got his
You've got his birth certificate.
This is all you need to know to prove that the runner-up, Luke Littler, was 16. He did an interview. Now, this is when he got picked in the semi-finals. He won £100,000. Okay. He got asked by a reporter what he was going to spend it on. And if this doesn't prove he's 16, I don't know what will. He said he's going to treat himself to some Under Armour tracksuits, he's on the Telegraph, and get himself a new toe and just get some FIFA points for his Xbox. If that doesn't prove...
I mean, he does just sound like a generic dance friend.
If that doesn't prove that he's 16, I don't know what does.
Okay. Well done. So he's won, has he?
No, he came runner up.
Okay, runner up.
But I'd looked at it to darts. We could dress up.
My brother went to darts fairly recently and dressed up as Mr. Incredible.
Did he actually? You and your brother, I forget how totally different you are.
Jonathan messaged James going, I forget how different you are to your brother.
Wow! Hey, I can't. Yeah. Just your brother trying to be down with the lads.
I think he can do it.
I think he can. He's like, when he's a bit like Ben, normally Ben.
Who?
Oh, yeah.
We move.
Normally he's like, yeah, what's the dog? And then another voice is like, what? Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm really tough up with him. My dad was a drug dealer. Yeah, he started to most of my childhood. Yeah. My mum, I never knew her. No, never knew her.
Alcoholic.
And I always like, Mummy!
Also, because obviously New Year, new people, etc., that sort of thing, should we just have a little living on gin now? Because you go to the gym a lot.
Yep.
I go to the gym enough.
You gym, because I have to go to a... but I have to go to a lesser gym. Just for, well, in October time.
Oh, because they were redoing it?
Yeah, so we're going to a lesser gym. Watch that. So good about that.
Yeah, that is sad.
Watch that. So I can't wait for the gym.
I get very annoyed with, and I say it could be women as well, but obviously I don't go in the women's changing room, so I'm going to slightly slander all men here. Men who use the changing room as an extension of their office and are on their phones. The only thing you should be doing in the changing room is getting changed to or from your gym kit. You do not need to be sitting on the bench, doing emails, sending messages, making phone calls, because you are hogging space.
How's that doing any harm to you?
The changing rooms are not massive where I go to, and it is deserted unless...
Is this the fancy gym
well, yes, but it doesn't matter where the gym is.
But that's a very, like, workers' commuters. You go in there...
changing room.
Don't speak to the guy who runs it.
It just irritates. I'm sure it happens in all gyms. Let me know, GPs, if this happens in your gyms. People using their phones to send emails. Just quickly get changed, shower, go. Move on, create some space. Okay. Big thing. I also wipe the equipment down before you use it and after you use it. You only have to wipe it down before because not many people wipe it down afterwards. Are you a wiper?
If I'm sweaty, yes.
Yeah. Well,
I can't be asked
well, if you're not sweating, you're not doing it right.
Spray.
A J-Cup. You could just get some blue roll.
It's not very good for the environment. If I've been on it and I'm drinking buckets, of course I'll wipe it down. I drink cans. It's a very good joke. Are you doing a little video reset then? Ish.
I mean, I had lots of chocolates last night, but only because my people didn't work, they were giving us gifts. So I did.
You have no discipline at all, have you?
Up until that point, I've been quite good. But
That's certainly.
But I've done two gym cross-training things this year so far. Just rounds like that.
Yeah, you told everyone that on the news. You watch a lot of programs. So.
I do, that's how I watch TV on my phone.
Do you lift heavy? Do you lift any weights?
I don't want to be toned out.
I never used to lift weights.
Enough of a personality. We'll keep trying. Shall we go to the interventionology of the week?
Yes, please. What have you got for us today, William Hanson?
We're going to do the history of Old Lang Syne. Here's the jingle.
It's knowledge. Why do you need to forget your manners? It's time for William Interventionology of the week.
And I'll tell you the history of Old Lang Syne, which we will probably start a new year after these messages.
Would you rather talk about films or talk about me explaining what a helmet is to my mother? Hello and welcome to our podcast. It's on the sofa. I'm Colton Smith. He is Dan Bright and he is Jeffrey Shepherd. You might know us called Cobbles or for more of our chat about film. But now we're inviting you on the sofa. We talk about our lives, your lives and everything in between. There'll be impossible would you rathers, and if you've got a conundrum, well, and we'll still make a chat about films. You can join us on the sofa by following us on Twitter.
Alright, D&D, let's start sticking with us. It's now time for William's etymology of the week. We're doing your renovation. So, what is it again this week?
It's the history of Old Lang Syne.
We do it live. Yes. Sorry again about the Channel L late. That was a BBC scroll. We were on
That's Daily Mail, aren't we?
So why do we sing what's it?
Old Lang Syne.
Old Lang Syne.
Well, translated literally, Old Lang Syne means old long since, but a better translation would be For the Sake of Old Times. Written by Robert Burns, as many people know, in 1788, based on a folk song, but it was first set to the tune that we will sing roughly 10 years later in 1799. And the song began its association with the New Year during the 19th century, after it was taken up by Freemasons and other fraternities, Robert Burns is a Freemason. And gradually this spread into the wider community. By the 1880s, Old Lang Syne was sung across not just Scotland, so in Scotland they started it. Traditionally people would gather outside before midnight, well, obviously they break into it then. During the 20th century though, but relatively recently, it spread across the Anglosphere thanks to radio and later TV. However, not in Burnley, where due to translation error by a certain Mr. Applethwaite in 1907, the locals believed it to be about the Old Lang Syne to Hebron's Chippy, found at the foot of Pendle Hill and the song.
Is that real?
It's not true as much as young Burnley.
That's amazing!
Yeah.
Oh, right, you lifted it up. Oh, did you?
I just wrote that, but I'll just say it's amusement.
Very good. Two things.
Yes.
Are Freemasons still a thing?
I don't know.
Don't we do like a...
No, actually, I'm not a Freemason. Let's not start this.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not a Freemason.
I know someone in your... I am a Freemason.
Brian's not.
He so is.
Not a
So is.
He is not a Freemason.
Is he still a thing? Apparently, like, you could get pulled up to speed and do like a weird little handshake. You go like...
Yeah.
Oh, what was it? You are a Freemason, aren't you?
Speak of your hand, for God's sake. Luke is not your nephew. Luke is my former lecturer, and I went round the Freemason Hall in Newport to go in Holborn, not far from here actually, and we did, sorry for the Freemasons listening, we did walk round with our trouser legs rolled up.
I don't get it.
Just supposedly, sort of, like, it's a secret sign. They roll up one of their left trouser legs up a little bit, to back to the ankle. It's not really true, but it's the common. So we put with our trouser legs rolled up. We found it funny.
Why not one direction?
What?
I always, when all of a sudden lads started showing a bit of ankle, and like the
that's just because they couldn't afford proper training.
No, they started showing a bit of ankle on the X Factor, and then so you know, like everyone's like that. So, the second thing,
Just a clarify, not a problem.
but is it still a thing?
I think you do see, if you get on at home and choose often on Bob, something like that, you see there would be cases and the black jackets and very nice material.
Why do we make down?
Sorry.
What
are you doing? Well, in Scotland, the song is sung whilst holding hands with the person next to you. So you actually hold like this, so you don't cross. You only cross at the last verse, and then you cross. Whereas outside Scotland, those rules don't apply. You just cross half palms. So the etiquette changes. And actually, can you remember that sort of, it's quite funny, the picture of the late Queen Elizabeth and Tony Blair
and Sharon,
yes, doing. And of course, the Queen looked the Queen didn't know whether to cross or not, because of course she sort of, although the British is probably slightly more Scottish, would identify Scottish a bit more.
What she said she was
Scottish.
But she said she was English, or
she's British.
She would never say she was English.
Also, I don't know what she said. Anyway, we know that, yeah. So anyway, it's all a bit confusing as to what she should do. And she was doing this because again, it's Scottish. So I'm not coming down on the side there, but I'm sure there was a bit of confusion. I don't love old things. It was nice at York. J. Rowe and I drove into Scottish Weaving. Did you notice?
No, did we do it at mine? It was nice by then. Did we play it, or did we just go sing it?
I think we just broke into it.
No one knows the words. No one knows the words. Oh, look at Sean again. Little Jake having what do you call him? Turn up the building.
You call him turn up the building.
No, I don't.
Yes,
you call him Tracksuit Jake.
I call him Tracksuit Jake, and you said on this podcast last year you are now calling him Turn Up the Building Jake.
Turn up the building Jake. Big caravan. His little element where he did a quiz as well.
Thanks for playing the bad singing. Sorry to everyone, even the music lovers. Shall we crash on?
Yeah.
Shall we get on to the listeners' problems? This is from Lara. Dear William and Jordan, wishing you fellas a wonderful new year. Looking forward to all 2024.
In 2 miles, use the second from the right lane to take exit 17 for I-275 west toward I-75.
But for now, I need some advice. I'm partaking in dry January. Mostly because I find my mental health is a lot better when I avoid alcohol. I'd like to try and keep it going post-January too, but wondering what is the etiquette for socialising with friends who do drink when you're trying to stay sober. Further, how often do I begin to think about dating with a certain person? I'm afraid people will think I'm terribly boring and no fun. Any advice will be welcome. Many thanks, Lara.
Lara, I'll admit, I used to so when someone comes to a barbecue or a party, it's like, oh, you're not drinking? Why? What's up here? Are you pregnant? When somebody's not drinking.
Why were they asking you that?
No, let's just say to people, when somebody's not drinking, let's just say fine.
Yes, do not pressure them.
Do you want to get, yeah, and I used to be like that, and I used to do it like that. When somebody's not drinking for whatever reason, just be like, right, fine.
Yes, because if you think that to have a good time, you have to have a drink, that is called a problem.
No, it's not.
Yes.
I stand by that statement. Right, me and you can go out.
I can still have a good time if I don't drink.
I don't think I can have a good time.
That's called a problem.
No, I mean, I can have a good time, but I don't think that with a drink.
Well,
excuse me, at the time of recording, it's a Thursday morning at 9:20, and you've nearly downed a gin and toboggan. Do not tell me I've got a problem.
That's the format!
You're working till 8 o'clock tonight.
Format reasons.
And you're telling me I've got a problem.
In a quarter mile, use the second from the right lane to take exit 17 for I-275 west toward I-75.
But anyway, no, you can't have fun without drink. You can't, but we're talking about this. And clearly, we should maybe release it when we did that escape room when we were on top.
Use the second from the right lane to take exit 17, then keep left at the fork.
We can't release it because the audio doesn't exist.
I hate that. Not for me.
Keep left at the fork.
Like escape rooms and going on bloody, what's it called, crystal maze things and that. Not for me. I'd much rather be in the pub. Which clearly no. No, the escape room.
when you lay on the floor
Yeah.
and refuse to do anything.
Not for me. I'm such a knob, aren't I? I'm such a knob. And that guy, that student that went, right, I'm gonna go and get the private.
Yeah.
And I'm back in a minute. This same guy just popped a hat on and came back and went, "Who are you?" "I'm Captain Longbeard, and I'll be helping you with today's escape." But yeah, if somebody's not drinking,
Yeah, don't pressure them at all. Also, Lara, you could look, whilst people shouldn't pressure you, and if you want, obviously, do you want a drink? Yes, I have sparkling water is a drink, so you shouldn't feel bad about that. But what you could do is lime in the sparkling water, just tonic water, just to sort of make it look like you're drinking, because then just to sort of make people avoid having to say, oh, we're not drinking, for example. Or also there are loads of really good. Monkey often has a 0% gin.
I got some in for him for New Year's Eve. And
did you tell him?
Yeah, I got some in a couple of times.
Oh,
but he weren't up for it. I was like, I've got some gin in for him.
I'm fairly sure he didn't know you had that. I'm sorry. Maybe.
I asked him twice.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
said, do you want a non-alcoholic gin and tonic? No, like it's like
yeah, so occasionally he might have brandy then for heavy meal, which is a bit like the anti-total and never having brandy. It's a bit weird, but I love it. So yeah, Lara, I feel you. I think things are changing. More and more people are realising that actually you shouldn't pressure people to drink. Stick with it, and if people do pressure you, potentially come on with it.
And don't people won't think you're boring.
Exactly. This is from Anonymous. Dear Jordan, as a teacher, I often run into parents out of school hours. This one incident, however, has led me to looking at advice.
I once said to you that would explain I was in the 20s. Yeah, I know, but seeing a teacher outside of school is weird.
I was getting a few bits and pieces from the supermarket, then I spotted one of my students with her mum. I waved, greeted them and moved on. The student's mum now playing in the meat aisle. And asked me how her daughter was doing in maths, and what her predicted grade was. I politely responded, and then tried to avoid her by going down other aisles. I needed some condoms and lube, and checking that there were no stray students or parents around, I browsed the shelf. Within seconds, that same mum appeared. She started asking me what my daughter could do to improve in maths, and if I could recommend a tutor. At this point, I was a little embarrassed, and the student also seemed annoyed with her mum. Then, I suggested that I contact her when I returned to school, and they walked off. I didn't risk buying any condoms or lube, but at least I had my faggots. My husband was not impressed. My question is, was my response appropriate, and how should I respond in the future? I usually reply to emails at all hours, and will speak to parents out and about. However, this just seemed a bit odd and caught me off guard. Should a teacher always be available for an impromptu parents' evening, even when purchasing conversation? With thanks, Anonymous.
I think, like we said with Laura there, I think we should all agree here now if we see any teachers outside of school, let's don't talk about work. I don't think that's fair.
Especially not like perceived as well.
Know what some parents are like.
Yeah, I was simply responded, well, when I'm working, I'm giving some thought at the moment.
Yeah,
not working.
Try not to approach teachers, especially teachers that get it all.
You can say hello. I mean, don't ignore them. They're a human being. If you know it's weird. But hi, how are you? How was your Christmas? Fine.
They work long hours.
Yeah, but not.
And don't tell them to get loads of holiday because that really pisses them off.
Yes, well, because they work for the whole.
I know they do, but honestly, I've got a few friends that teachers. I know you've got
Yeah, holidays aren't on enough.
Were your mum and dad ever bothered about reports of grades like mine would have been?
No, because I had reports that said things like, I always remember one of my drama teachers, if only all my students were like me, my life would be much easier.
Oh.
Sticks in.
Yeah, my only thing was just like that, as long as you weren't that gay, you could get beat and pass.
Did you have much D in school?
Quite a few. Yeah, actually no, I was very average, very average. I don't remember one of these. Yeah. I mean, my highest GCSE, I got a B Tech. Did you have food? And PE.
Is that a subject? Okay. What was your favourite thing you made?
Every week it's when you help. So you get like a full fat version at the start and 6 weeks later it's like help.
So it's 6 weeks of cheesecake?
Yes, bottle of
Eventually, it's just the tin.
I come home with some cheesecakes one day.
Right.
And my dad, I'll never forget it, my dad was asleep on the settee. They were in his army out, in his army. We had, one day, and I had some cheesecake. Fucking sick of cheesecake every week. It costs me a pissing fortune in ingredients, and I'll never forget this quote. Why don't you do a right subject like woodwork, like how Orion? Like there's a magazine there. Yeah, a little magazine right downstairs. Yeah.
Have they still got that?
I don't think he has. No second guesses to me. That's what, you know, you changes your mum's photograph. No second guesses to me. That's
right. Yeah. He's most like it.
It's just been promoted to Sergeant Major. In the army. Just see what my dad got him.
What did you get him?
Some Mount Blanc pens. Mount Blanc pens.
Wow. Can't eat many of those in the army.
In 2 miles, take exit 41 for Ohio 4 toward Fairfield.
I got a fire pit.
It's like Joan of Arc now, aren't you? Joan of Arc.
Oh, she's got there.
Yes, with faggots all around her. This is from Christina. Dear William Jordan and E.P. Ben, brackets, travelling. Happy New Year. I hope you can help with my problem. I'm not a native English speaker. My native language is Czech. I'm fluent in English, but I do suffer from an affliction when it comes to the spoken language, which is I tend to pick up various accents very quickly. I can go from Sarah Hanson to Mikey the Builder in a matter of days. You may ask, why is this a problem?
It was so weird. When I was moving out, I had a removal guy, and he was from, I can't remember where he's from, it was Bulgaria. He had a Scouse English accent, the guy who taught him.
Oh, well.
Yeah, and when he first moved to Liverpool, it's weird, anyway, go on.
Well, I also tend to pick up local slang. For example, when spending time with my friend from Newcastle, I end up saying, "Aye, it's canny," for days. This is entirely involuntary and subconscious, and I have to concentrate to undo it. Listening to your podcast practically non-stop for the last 2 weeks has therefore somewhat altered my accent to have a northern twang. I found myself needing to concentrate to say "my" after realising...
In half a mile, take exit 41 for Ohio 4 toward Fairfield.
I said, I've gone to Prague to see my family, and I'm missing my dog. My English-speaking friends are dismayed, but also somewhat entertained. However, the serious affliction means that it doesn't take very long for me to sound like I'm mocking whoever I'm speaking to. My dilemma, therefore, is, do I own up?
Take exit 41.
This, apologise to people and explain to them not needing to take the piss, meaning to take the piss, or do I ignore it and pretend I don't know what is happening, or just level up the concentration and...
In a quarter mile, keep right at the fork. Follow signs for Ohio 4 at Fairfield.
Risk looking constipated whilst trying to have a conversation with someone. Gratefully yours, Christina. No, answer carefully. Christina is literally hanging on your foot.
I just apologise and say I'm sorry I've got this
Keep right at the fork.
medical condition where
But it's not medical, is it?
I mimic how people talk. Just say sometimes I pick it up. We all do it. Do you go posher when you go back to Bristol?
I don't know, I've never really thought about it. Mikey goes more Yorkshire when he goes back to Yorkshire.
Does he actually?
Yes.
Oh, I over Christmas I hear myself going, no, I'm right. Are you right? I'll have a brew.
Continue on Ohio 4 north for 2 miles.
Yeah.
I think I'm fairly, but remember, I mean, this is why I did elocution lessons during lockdown, was because I was spending so much time talking to you, some of my vowels were going very flat.
How does Mikey go more northern, more Yorkshire?
Alright, that's all I think. No, it's just, there's the odd sound, I know. Christina, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think you've probably, I would say, because you're aware of it, it's probably becoming more of a thing in your head than it probably is in real life. You are, of course, very aware of how you sound because you hear yourself all the time. Other people may not hear you as much. So, and look, if someone does pick you up and go, oh, that was a funny sound, or, oh, I was something like that, then you could admit it. But if you make it a problem and tell them in advance, they'll then be listening for it, and I would say that would distract from the conversation.
Just be careful. You did mention there. Just be careful with Geordies and Scousers, because if they think you're taking a piss, they're known to headbutt. So
nice.
Yeah.
This is from Dean Valentine in Toronto.
What a name!
Dean Valentine's like a film.
What a name!
Yes. Hi, gentlemen. I wanted to share a dilemma from when I lived in a first-story flat in Water Gardens. which was the former home of Elton John, as mentioned in his autobiography when he was first starting to become famous. I received a note in my front door one day, which read, and he's put the note here, but I'll read it out. Do you own the first floor flat on the corner overlooking Haviland Drive? Do you get up at about 6 a.m. or just shortly afterwards, in block capitals? If this is you, do you realise that you can be clearly seen through your bathroom window? I have a wonderful view of you yesterday, stark naked, cleaning your teeth, bending over your wash basin. And on another morning you were clearly, or do I mean, and I do mean clearly, visible drying yourself off after a bath or shower, and more detail than you could wish, and I certainly would wish, was on show to the world. It's not nice, please get some window covering. My response was to stick it in the window that my neighbour had commented on, and from that time I made a point of being nude, more than not.
Well, that's a bit weird.
All my windows did have coverings, and I never wanted to change the look of the decor. After all, it was a rather posh flat. Do you agree with my approach, or do you think I should have taken a more democratic approach and maybe tried to cover the window? Love the podcast. Best, Dean Valentine in Toronto.
Probably best day to try and cover the window. Also, who brushes their teeth like naked? I find that weird.
Do you not?
I don't like being naked.
No, I don't, no.
I like to be, yeah.
Do you not like being naked?
No, not really.
Fancy.
Yeah. I have a little hole in the sheet. You know?
I'm sorry?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Very little hole. I would also say... Also, can we just deconstruct this letter? The Elton John thing was a complete...
I know, yeah, why have you thrown me off though? I thought the letter was
here we go.
I thought the letter was from Elton John asking if he could come and have a look round or something.
Yes. That's completely irrelevant to what then happened, but I mean, I guess it's a flex, as people would say, to tell us that you live there. I mean, I do like the passive aggression of sticking the note to cover. I think that's quite funny. I do like that, but I think maybe some privacy lines. I don't agree with how they dealt with it.
Yeah, I was going to say, the letter could have been nicer.
It's written very stroppily in block capitals in a whole range of fonts and colours as well, which I know you can't see, but there's the note. But, yeah, I would probably get some...
I'd be mortified if my neighbours were like... Because they probably think you're a bit pervy, don't they?
You can get some privacy film, I think, that sort of blocks out people from seeing in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or just get some blinds. Or just stop walking around bollock naked, put a dressing gown on.
So many options. Final one, this is from Anonymous. Hi William and Joel. A while back I was watching a movie with my girlfriend. We were comfy and spooning under a blanket on the sofa in the upstairs living room. After a while, one thing led to another and we started getting at it, but we left our top halves clothed. Now, at this point, she lived with her parents, and suddenly we heard her father coming up the stairs, so we just froze in place. We were still spooning and covered in the blanket, so there was nothing to see. But on his way to bed, he stopped to give his daughter a kiss on the cheek. This was rather awkward since he was still balls deep. Was I wrong to wait for him to go to his room and then finish the job? Should we have stopped? What does one...
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Ohio 4 bypass north.
Do in a situation like this. Thanks in advance for your advice.
Oh, I think the term balls deep. Oh, that's excuse me, that's so fucked up on so many levels.
Regardless of what was going on below.
Turn right onto Ohio 4 bypass north.
If a couple were, whoever they were, if they were cuddling on a sofa, I think to lean over and give them a kiss is a bit weird.
That's quite alarming.
I would just sort of stand in the doorway and wave and go night.
Continue on Ohio 4 bypass north for 3 miles.
I think he would have known. Sometimes you can... sex has a smell, doesn't it?
Does it?
Yeah.
What does yours smell of?
No, you just sometimes... you know, like you walk in a room and you think, someone's been shagging in here.
Is that... Sorry?
No, you do. Come on. You know...
How many rooms do you walk into?
Or, you know, when you've like, walked back into your bedroom and think, oh, no, I need to open the window. You know, it's
the smells of sin.
Sometimes you can smell sex, can't you?
I don't think you can smell sex. I'm sorry, I think you've absolutely lost the plot.
You can. Anyway, so you probably would have known.
June Divas, if you can smell sex, write in.
You can. We'll do it for the bonus in a couple of weeks.
Oh, can't wait.
Also, I think you probably should have stopped that. That would have really killed.
I think it probably would have killed the moment.
Yes. Would have.
Yeah, okay.
Fair play. That's my advice. You probably should have stopped. It does. Sometimes it's got a bit of a
whiff of clothes.
You know, especially in the summer with the sweat and stuff.
Smells like Billingsgate Fish Market.
In Burnley.
No, Billingsgate's in London.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Anyway, Jordan, what is coming up on the weekend release?
Apparently, we find out if I ripped off my impression from a comedian.
Oh, well, we'll find out, won't we?
And we get feedback from our panto stalwart. Who's that?
Stalwart.
Oh, stalwart. Stalwart.
Stalwart. Veteran.
Don't you present domestic politics? That's very stupid. With me, Rory Stewart. That's like my favourite podcast.
Sorry?
Second favourite of this.
Sorry?
First one.
It's third. It's third.
Why was it?
Sexted.
Oh, keep up pins.
Thank you.
With me, Rory Stewart.
Lovely. Well, what a love. It's nice to be back.
It's nice to be back. Sorry, it's been a bit of an extra long episode, but we had loads of catch up on. Remember, you can listen every Tuesday and Friday, so that's when the episodes come out. And I've been told that loads of people listen to the Tuesday episode, but not so much the Friday one, which is just as fun. So come on, listen to that. It's just a bit shorter. It's a little treat for the weekend. So you can listen every Tuesday and Friday. Watch us on YouTube on Wednesdays and Fridays, and he shares on his socials all week. He sends his tales of trepidation to help at sexedmyboss.com, or you can tweet us or send us a message on Instagram at sexedmyboss, or you can write to William, who, in the fullness of time, promises a handwritten reply on one of our luxury greeting cards with executive self-seal envelopes. The address for that is on the website sexedmyboss.com.
See you on Friday.
See you on Friday.
Would you rather talk about films or talk about
me explaining what a helmet is to my mother-in-law?
Hello and welcome to our podcast. It's On the Sofa. I'm Colin Smith. He is Ben Price and he is Jack P. Shepherd.
You might know us from Cobbles or from all of our chat about film.
But now we're inviting you on the sofa. We'll talk about our lives, your lives, and everything in between. There'll be impossible would you rathers.
Hey, and if you've got a conundrum, well, I'm here to help.
And we'll still fit in some good chat about films.
You can join us on the sofa by following us wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Hey y'all, the NFL playoffs are here, and we have teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official partner of the NFL, who is kicking things off with a huge offer. Throughout the playoffs, all new customers will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when they place their first $5 wager on anything. Get in on the action this weekend by downloading the DraftKings app, and don't forget to use our promo code KILLTONY. That's right. New customers who just bet $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Red Band?
Wondering what you can use your $200 in bonus bets on? Combine multiple bets together from the same game for a shot at an even bigger payout. If you're already signed up for DraftKings, like me, you can get a no-sweat bet. Get a bonus bet back if your same-game parlay, SGPX, bet doesn't hit. Max reward limits applied. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in all the fun at the DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the chance to win cash prizes.
Thanks to DraftKings for sponsoring this episode of Kill Tony. I'm psyched that we're officially partnering with DraftKings Sportsbook because I love the NFL playoffs, and DraftKings is the perfect way to make them even better. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use our promo code KILLTONY and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code KILLTONY, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Hey y'all, going online without ExpressVPN is like changing while leaving your window wide open. You might not have anything to hide, but why give random creeps a chance to invade your privacy? When you go online without a VPN, internet service providers, ISPs, can see every single website you visit. They can legally sell this information without your consent to ad companies and tech giants who then use your data to target you. Red Band?
Yeah, if you're at a local coffee shop, if you're at an airport, do you know how easy it is for people to just get into your stuff? It's easy to use, no one can track you. Once you have that VPN in, it's like disguising yourself in front of a bunch of people wearing a mask. No one knows who you are.
Browse more anonymously. When you use ExpressVPN, ISPs cannot see your online online activity or identity is anonymized by a secure VPN server. Just fire up the app and click one button. It's super easy to use on all devices, phones, laptops, even routers, so everyone who shares your Wi-Fi can be protected. I love the fact that when I'm online, whether it's emailing with a future Kill Tony guest or paying a dumb bill or even ordering some local barbecue, ExpressVPN makes sure that it's for my eyes only. Secure your online activity by visiting expressvpn.com/killtony today. That's expressvpn.com/killtony, and you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/killtony.
Hey, this is Red Band, and you're listening to the Death Squad Podcast Network. This episode of Kill Tony and every episode of Kill Tony can be found at deathsquad.tv. And don't forget to check out everything Tony Hinchcliffe at TonyHinchcliffe.com. And the Sunset Strip's my new comedy club in Austin, Texas. Go to sunsetstripatx.com. And now, here's a brand new episode of Kill Tony.
Back on my stand-up tour at the end of January, hitting all the spots that I didn't hit on the fully grown tour before this. Vancouver, Portland, and Seattle. You're next. January 25th, 26th, and 27th. And then Los Angeles, California, I do stand-up. Denver, Colorado, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Boston, Baltimore, Salt Lake City, San Jose, Dallas, Houston, St. Louis, Nashville, Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando. I'm so pumped for these upcoming dates. Really excited for you to see it. Taking some of my favorite openers with me. You may recognize some of them. Get tickets now at TonyHinchcliffe.com. This is going to be my last stretch of the stand-up tour for the rest of 2024. All just performing in Austin and Kill Tony from there. So hope to see you.
David? All right.
Yeah, and it's been raining all day.
What can I get for you?
I ordered through the app.
What was the code?
EY21.
Alright, go forward, thank you.
Thanks.
You're good.
Thanks.
Have a great
Could I have you pull forward and I'll bring it up to you?
All right.
You have the filet in the small fry?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh man. Oh man, I was hungry, hangry. Man, that was good. I haven't had a filet of fish in forever. That was pretty amazing. Woo! Man. What to listen to? I'll try.
Hey, this is Redmond coming to you live from the Comedy Mothership here in Austin, Texas for a brand new episode of Kill Tony. Give it up for Tony Hinchcliffe!
Who's ready for the best fucking night of their lives tonight, huh? Yippee! Make some noise for Red Band, everybody! We've been doing this little show for over a decade. It is the #1 live podcast in the world, Kill Tony. How you guys feel? Good? Shout out to Gel Blaster, Red Rose, Yellow Rose, NinjaBuses.com, Hall Law Firm, Austin Security Guard Service, and Connect Mobile Health. You can get an IV drip. Use the code KILL15 to save 15%. Here's a little bit more for the amazing sponsors that made tonight's episode available for you here, right now.
The Sunset Strip Comedy Club in Austin, Texas is now open. Check out Red Band's secret show every Thursday. Go to sunsetstripatx.com for tickets.
You guys ready to start tonight's episode? You guys big fans of the show? How many of you have been big fans of the show for a long time? Well, you guys are in for a treat because this is the return. It's been years, pre-pandemic, since we had this guy on as a guest, and he is one of the record holders for all-time guest appearances. And one of the all-time greats, someone who is in more than anything, on top of being nominated for an Emmy as an actor and so many great things he's been on, but truly, he is one of my favorite comedians on planet Earth, and a lot of your favorite comedians' favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the return of one of my all-time favorites, the great and powerful Kirk Fox, everybody. Huge. Now sit here, Kirk, over here. Fuck yeah. The great Kirk Fox, everybody. Reservation Dogs, Parks and Rec. The new jury duty of Green Abbey. But more than anything, one of the fucking real comedians of our era at the Comedy Store. A fucking legend, a legend.
Know about that, but it seems important to you, so we'll just...
It is. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Is this the right mic? I don't want to interrupt you on the rules you gave me, but is this the mic you want me on?
Okay, no. Was that you? You do that? Hold on. Don't press on the thing.
Man, I don't want any trouble. Just like that.
Is that good? We got that? Okay.
Who's next to me? You understand why I grabbed it?
Totally.
Okay, so someone fucked up already.
It's true.
Good.
Put that to never be used again.
Okay. Frame it.
We're gonna Kirk, you know how it works. Over 200 souls signed up with a chance to get 1 minute on this stage here tonight if I pull their name out of the bucket.
Right? Souls?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. That would get scary if it was just see death here.
In the spotlight.
Okay.
But yes, you know how it works. They get 60 seconds.
I mean, it's been a while, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, they get 60 seconds uninterrupted.
I know.
In 60 seconds.
I know. We're just getting the kinks out. I'll be done in a second.
And you know their time is up and you hear the sound of a kitten. That means wrap it up then, or else they're going to bring out the angry West Hollywood bear, which just interrupts them. And then I ask them a bunch of questions, and we find out more about who we pulled out of the bucket. I'm going to pre-pull now our first comedian. They have to go across the street to a special bar and get the person. I believe they yell it. What do you yell it through a megaphone, Colt? You do? Yeah. All right. Well, there he goes. I didn't even know that. I've always wondered, like, when did someone just yell the name?
You store them across the street? Is this what happens?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bar.
I want to keep souls in here, so that's good.
Yeah.
Got a new bar. I'm with you, Tony.
I take the humans to the bar, we keep the souls here.
Okay. I like it.
Anyway, I interview them. The whole thing's improvised. It's all crazy. You guys know where you're at. You guys ready to have a great fucking show tonight, or what? Well, while they get that poor person from across the street, we're gonna get the show started with a fucking legend of the show, everybody. You know him as a guy that used to live in his fucking van, and now I tell you, he's living his dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you know you guys know the words?
Thank you for that long song. I have been putting dryers all throughout my neighborhood because I want to catch a stepmom. I love taking Ubers. You know it's going to be a good Uber if you can't tell if it's the driver's name or his license plate. I I've been thinking about getting the new Cybertruck because I want a car that tells people not only is my dick small, but I wax my balls as well. My girlfriend recently told me that I have the best personality of any man she's ever dated, which is sad because I didn't know my dick was that small. All right, thank you.
Okay, Kim. Did you say dryers? Was that the first one?
Yes, dryers.
As in like washing machine?
Washing machine.
Dryer?
Dryers, yes.
Because stepmoms use dryers.
Yeah, they get stuck in them.
Okay. The porn that he watches.
Brian, I watch American porn, not the Japanese shit that you're into.
Yeah, you guys have. I've actually flip-flopped. It's like Tom Hanks and the little boy in the movie. You should be liking Japanese porn, and he should for sure like stepmoms caught in dryers, but the world works in mysterious ways. How you doing, Hans Kim?
I'm doing fabulously. You know, my girlfriend's still white, and I'm still rich.
Super likable.
That can all change, so that's good. That can all change. A few of those dryer joke could change everything. But it's all right. You came out with confidence. I spoke with you downstairs, and you had high hopes. Lock and change, man. You come up two stories, 2 floors.
Yeah, 2 floors.
Each step got you closer to this moment. Yeah, I do love you, though.
We love you, Hans. What's going on in your life?
I recently bought a remote control airplane, and I got it stuck in a tree, and so I bought a $150 pole and got it out, and got my $200 airplane out with.
Yeah, these are the investments that can take you in the other direction pretty quick.
It really is a $150 pole for a $200 airplane.
Yeah, it's a 30-foot pole. I mean, I still have. I'm not going to return it. I'm going to use it. You know, I feel.
But you saved money on the tree, right?
The Christmas tree.
See, I can suck too. I'm just showing you that it's universal. Sure got quiet. They thought something was coming, and I was just showing them that it can sometimes not come.
Hans, let me ask you something. A 30-foot pole, is that what you needed?
Yeah, it was pretty high up there. Just poked it out.
Does it retract?
Yes, it folds in.
Folds in. I think D Madness has one of those over here somewhere. So you think you're going to use it in the future? Are you going to use it to mostly like talk shit? Like I wouldn't touch you with a 30-foot pole, and I know because I have a 30-foot pole.
Yeah, I mean my reach is unlimited. I mean 30 foot, but
yeah.
I can touch a lot of things from far away.
Well, that's going to help you when you're near the playground next time. You need to get a 31-foot restraining order is what they need from you.
And did you get the plane out?
Yes, poked it out, fell in the water, and dried it out.
Wouldn't it have been great if we could do that to the planes during 9/11? Just fucking poke them out real quick so the whole thing didn't, like, we just would have gotten rid of that jet fuel.
Still, pieces.
I love it. So the plane falls down. Is it still working?
Yes, but then I crashed it again and the front wheel caved in, so I'm going to return it and get a new one.
Wow.
But you'll keep the pole for
Yes.
next time?
Yeah.
You think Asians are better than normal people at flying airplanes?
We're about exponentially worse. The third dimension really sends me in a tail loop. Start spinning around. Fuck yeah.
Those are words I didn't understand. But once again, you were confident in the delivery, and fucking, we'll go with it.
Thank you, Kirk.
I'm here for you.
It's like,
did you watch the plane fly into the tree?
Yeah, I was controlling it.
Right. What's the range on something like that?
Probably like 1,000 feet.
Wow.
So you were flying low?
Yeah, I was showing off.
Can you see up? Like,
like normal people?
Or do you have special goggles and a camera on the airplane?
You don't need to see up when you have a 30-foot pole.
Yeah. It's a madness, that shit.
Just feel it.
I can see up, yes, Brian, I can see up.
If you wouldn't, it would have been a Malaysian airplane. It would have disappeared, everybody. Electronic airplane. Electronic airplane.
Father's gonna crack. No, he was looking for.
Wasn't exactly a secret, but now the story was on the front page of the Sunday paper. I remember receiving a text message from a good friend of mine. He texted me and said, "You're free now. So whatever you want to do now, you can do it." But it kind of did make me feel relieved. Like, so now the people, everybody knows. So either they're gonna be with me or they're not.
Scott's personal history gained public knowledge and presented an opportunity to go into politics.
I used to always say the worst thing that will happen to me would not be losing the election. So I think it gave me an advantage.
He won his first race for the Virginia House in 2019. He ran on criminal justice reform, shaped by his time on both sides of the legal system. Once there, he continued to advocate for automatic restoration of voting rights for former felons. His own rights were restored in 2013 by petitioning the governor. On the floor of the State House, Scott employs a confrontational style, full of quips and asides.
Delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, this thing is going a little too far.
In early 2022, Scott laid into Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin for his policies on how race was taught in schools.
And so far what I've seen from his day one activities is not someone who is a man of faith, not a Christian, but someone who wants to divide the Commonwealth. I know the truth hurts. I don't want to make you cry like saying critical race theory, because I know it hurts your feelings. I just want to say...
The House will come to order.
Scott says soon after that, Youngkin, who often speaks about his faith, asked Scott to come to the governor's mansion.
I just laughed. I said, he ain't the principal and he ain't a student. If you want to see me, you can come over here. And to his credit, he came to see me.
Moments like these raised Scott's profile within the Democratic caucus. Less than 6 months later, he was chosen as House Minority Leader and was now responsible for taking back the chamber from Republicans. On the campaign trail, every stump speech mentioned abortion access and threats to democracy. He's reminded of this when he sees the ships just outside his office window and recalls his own time in the Navy.
And I tell people that I feel like this is a continuation of Stand and Watch. You know, we stand and watch over our democracy. It doesn't end in the State House.
Democrats did take back the whole State House last fall and chose Scott as their nominee for Speaker. Before he headed to Richmond, Scott gathered supporters in his district for a send-off.
A lot of them are community leaders. There's a lot of pastors in here.
Eugene Swinson runs gun intervention and youth programming in Portsmouth. When Scott saw him, he gave Swinson a fist bump.
That's actually what I love about him. What I like about him, I love about him, that he kind of makes sure the people that are forgotten about or the people that's all the way at the bottom, he makes sure that they get what they need to.
As Scott took to the podium, he took a moment to appreciate his rise from the child of a poor single mother to leader of America's first State House. And he expressed gratitude to the black legislators who served before him.
We didn't even see ourselves ever even raising our hand to run for Speaker of the House, let alone achieve it. So I'm so grateful that I get the opportunity standing on those giants. And I want y'all, when y'all see me in the room, understand I carry all of y'all with me.
And he recognized the enslaved Virginians who built the Capitol.
Every time I walk into that Capitol, y'all, and this is true, I promise you, I see ghosts. I see our ancestors who were in there, who were emptying people's urine, emptying the spittoons, building the buildings, breaking their back while people made decisions about whether they were human or not.
That history continues on the eve of Scott's ascension as the first black speaker, and he made a request to those sharing in the moment.
I need y'all to pray for me, because there's a lot out there coming my way. I'm ready for it, I think, but I'm going to stay prayed up, and I hope that y'all will too. Y'all have a great night. Thank you, Portsmouth, Virginia.
The General Assembly starts tomorrow. One of the first orders of business is the vote for Scott to take up the gavel. For NPR News, I'm Jad Khalil in Portsmouth, Virginia.
As millions of monarch butterflies make their way down the east coast to Mexico for the winter, butterfly scientists want people in their flight path to report monarch sightings. Doing so can help these scientists answer critical questions as the butterfly's environment changes. Georgia Public Broadcasting's Sophie Gratas has more.
For centuries, eastern monarchs have been migrating thousands of miles south to nestle in volcanic mountain forests over the winter. Seeing this annual migration is what caused Susan Myers to fall in love with monarchs when she visited a sanctuary in Mexico.
There are butterflies flying all around you, and you can actually hear them. It's like soft rain.
Myers is now a longtime volunteer with monarchs across Georgia. Unfortunately, over the years, she's played witness to another phenomenon.
We could be losing this migration pattern.
That's because many monarchs are skipping their migration and staying in the southern United States. Scientists think they know at least one reason why: an overplanting of non-native milkweed. It attracts the butterflies to stay and play. But what skipping migration means for the future of the species still isn't totally clear. So scientists are relying on some citizen science to help find answers. Tell me a little bit about what we're asking people to do.
Right, so we're asking people in the southeast to be looking for adult monarchs first. And if you see adult monarchs, what are they doing?
Myers says to pay attention. Are there monarchs resting in trees or drinking nectar from flowers? Different behaviors act as signals for scientists. For example, mating is a red flag because it uses up energy meant for migration. And as Sonia Altizer with the University of Georgia's Project Monarch Health explains, mating during the winter also poses a different risk.
The winter breeding behaviors are accelerating the transmission of this debilitating parasite that infects monarchs.
This parasite, called Ophriociscus electroscira, or OE for short, causes deformities in the monarchs. They can get sick and die. Altizer's found that almost all winter breeding monarchs in places like Texas and Florida have this parasite. At the same time, Altizer says that in the South,
at least some monarchs in a few places are doing what we would call coastal overwintering, that they're staying in a non-reproductive overwintering state all winter long, like we would see them doing in Mexico.
In the spring, these healthy monarchs will migrate back north. Altizer says they could be the future of the migrating monarch species, so learning more about them and tracking them with help from people on the ground is key. Monarch sightings can be reported online at journeynorth.org through March. For NPR News, I'm Sophie Gradas in Macon, Georgia.
You're listening to All Things Considered from NPR News.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Amgen, a biotechnology company working to fight the world's toughest diseases. In a new era of human health, Amgen is dedicated to accelerating the pace of change to push beyond what's known today. From Procter & Gamble, maker of Align Probiotic, a daily supplement designed by gastroenterologists to help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. More at alignprobiotics.com. From Cunard, sailing the transatlantic crossing between New York and London on Queen Mary 2, with a commitment to White Star service, fine dining, and entertainment. Cunard.com/crossing. And from listeners like you, who donate to this NPR station.
Support comes from the Seven Hills School, ranked the #1 college prep private high school in Cincinnati by niche. Guided by teachers who know them well and encourage them, Seven Hills students learn in an environment designed to help them gain knowledge, confidence, and character. Learn about upcoming Seven Hills admission events at sevenhills.org. Support comes from Artichoke, where you can find fresh ideas for your kitchen and classes to help bring your skills to a new level. Locally owned and operated, their original location has everything for your favorite cooks and bakers, while their annex, 2 doors north, has an expanded selection of tableware, barware, linens, and serving pieces on Elm Street between historic Findlay Market and Rhinegeist.
Southbound.